The widespread myth that there are only certain people born to do mathematics has done just infinite damage, whereas the evidence suggests that kids are all born with the ability, almost universally, unless they have very severe learning disabilities. The bell curve that we've created, I think, is a social creation, an absolute illusion. John Mighton at Jump Math and the Fields Institute. I'm a mathematician and founder of the charity Jump Math. We haven't gotten at one of the deepest root causes, and that's the idea that all educational systems across the world are founded on, that there's a natural difference between kids in any given subject, particularly in the mathematics and the sciences. So if you've got a class where 2/3 of the kids feel they're inadequate and are not really engaged, you couldn't devise a more efficient way of shutting kids' brains down. It's medieval. We could not have devised a smarter way for producing a bell curve than what we do now. And that's what we're trying to fight against in Jump. It just breaks my heart when I see kids who have this incredible potential and ability constantly being given the message that they're not smart or capable, that the world isn't really that interesting, that it's not something they can understand. We shut down that part of the imagination, that part of kids' engagement in the world very early. So we would think kids are stunted if they didn't see any beauty in a mountain or a star. We think it's totally natural that they see no beauty in the invisible laws that underlie nature and all the incredibly elegant symmetries and connections. If you actually teach making every effort you can to minimize the hierarchies in the class, to always let weaker students shine, to scaffold the lesson so that if you have to, you can take the simplest step, and to create bonus questions that don't have too much new information so faster kids can work independently. If you just take account of those principles, then we've done studies that show that within weeks, weaker kids start becoming the faster kids in the class. One of the most inspiring things I've seen, I went to London, England, and I was invited to do a demo in an inner city school that was a very violent school. The kids, the very bad fights, and they put 30 of the worst behavioral kids into one class for me. I got off the plane and walked into this classroom, and the very first lesson I didn't condescend to the kids, even though I knew they were quite far behind. I did a lesson on binary codes, on how computers read codes. And the kids went nuts. They thought they were little code breakers. They wanted longer and longer questions. They figured out really amazing things about how the codes work. On the third lesson, when I came in with the teacher, the kids cheered. They were so happy to be showing off and solving puzzles, using their minds, and not being condescended to. They recently did quite a large study where they tracked hundreds of kids who were 2 years behind grade level, and after just 1 year of intervention, they got 60% of them passing the national exams when they expected 0% to pass. I've seen over and over again how quickly you can narrow the gap between students and get students deeply engaged in mathematics. My dream really in the Jump program, and the dream of the teachers we work with, is that kids who are born with this infinite curiosity, this love of solving puzzles and exploring patterns, that they can engage in that just without any fear and really enjoy and love mathematics.